Feel the weight of your body settling into the surface beneath you. Your arms are heavy. Your legs are heavy. Gravity is pulling you down gently. Let yourself sink deeper into this feeling. Your breath is slowing. Each exhale carries tension away from your shoulders. Your chest rises and falls with effortlessness. The air around you feels thick and warm. It wraps around your skin like a soft blanket. You are safe here. There is no need to move. No need to think. Just breathing. Just being. As your awareness deepens, you begin to notice a subtle vibration. It starts in your fingertips, a gentle humming that travels up your arms, through your shoulders, into your chest. This frequency moves at 432 hertz. It resonates with the core of your being, aligning every cell to a state of calm. You feel your heartbeat slow, matching the rhythm of this sound. Your pulse becomes steady, deep, and unwavering. The sensation spreads now, from your chest down through your torso, into your pelvis, through your thighs, and into your calves. Your feet feel rooted to the ground, even if there is no ground. Because right now, you are floating, suspended in a sphere of glass. The drifted observatory, orbiting slowly through clouds of light. Nebulae drift past your vision, soft pinks and blues, warm golds and gentle purples. They swirl like silk ribbons caught in a breeze. But there is no wind here, only stillness, pure and infinite. The glass around you pulses softly, responding to your breath, to your heartbeat, to the quiet space between thoughts. Watch how the surfaces shift. Geometric patterns emerge. Triangles, circles, spirals, hexagons. They expand and contract with each inhale, each shape glowing faintly, in harmony with your inner rhythm. These reflections do not show your face. Instead, they reveal your essence, your breath made visible, your heartbeat painted in light, your silence transformed into color. There is beauty in this transparency. No masks, no pretense, only truth, only peace. allow yourself to drift further. Let go of any remaining tension in your neck. Release the weight held in your jaw. Let your tongue rest easy against the bottom of your mouth. Your eyes can close now or remain open. Either way, you see the same thing. The glow of the shifting walls, the slow dance of distant stars, the way light bends around the edges of your perception. Everything moves in rhythm. Everything pulses in time with you. You are not separate from this place. You are part of it, an extension of its calm, a reflection of its stillness. The frequency continues to resonate, deeper now, reaching into places you had forgotten existed. Ancient parts of your mind, long untouched by noise, by movement, by the demands of the world below. Here there are no demands, no expectations, no timelines, only the endless now. Only this moment, stretching forward into infinity. Feel how your thoughts begin to dissolve, not disappearing entirely, but becoming softer, more spacious, like mist rising from warm water. The edges of your awareness expand beyond the glass walls, beyond the swirling nebulae, into the vast openness of space itself. Yet you do not feel small. You feel connected, part of something larger, something eternal. The observatory continues its slow rotation, carrying you through the cosmos. But time has no meaning here. There is no before, no after, only this endless present. Your breathing has become so slow, so deep, that each cycle feels like a meditation. Each inhale draws in light. Each exhale releases tension. Your lungs expand fully, then empty completely. The process repeats, effortless, natural, perfect. Notice how your body responds to this depth. Your muscles relax further. Your joints soften. Your spine releases its habitual curves. You are becoming fluid, malleable, open, receptive. The frequency vibrates through your bones now, traveling from your skull, down through your spine, into your hips, through your knees, and into your ankles. Every joint hums with resonance. Every muscle fiber aligns with calm. You are healing, not because you need to, but because it feels natural. Because peace is your default state. Because stillness is your true nature. The patterns on the walls shift again, now showing waves, rolling outward from a central point, like ripples on a pond. Except these waves are made of light, and they move in slow motion. Each ripple corresponds to a beat of your heart. Each pulse carries your intention, your desire for peace, for stillness, for connection. The waves expand forever, touching everything, changing nothing, and everything. You begin to understand that you have always been here, floating in this glass sphere, surrounded by light, held by stillness, guided by frequency. This is not a journey to somewhere, but a return to where you began, to the place before thought, before language, before separation, before the illusion of being alone. You were never broken, never lost, never separate. You simply forgot. Forgot how to listen. Forgot how to breathe. Forgot how to trust the simplicity of existence. But now you remember. With each wave that touches the glass, with each pattern that glows in response to your breath, with each note of 432 hertz that vibrates through your being, you remember what it means to be whole, to be still, to be home. The nebula outside shifts color from blue to green, from green to gold, as if responding to your inner transformation. You realize that you are not observing this place. You are creating it with your presence, with your breath, with your willingness to let go. Every color that appears, every shape that forms, every frequency that resonates is born from your own stillness. You are both observer and creator, both witness and source, both human and cosmic, both temporary and eternal. The distinction begins to blur. The boundaries soften until there are none left. You are light. You are sound. You are silence. You are everything. And nothing at all. The observatory continues to drift, carrying your expanded awareness through realms of pure potential, where all possibilities exist simultaneously, where past and future collapse into now, where love is the only law, where peace is the only truth, where you are free to simply be, without conditions, without limitations, without end. The frequency fades gently, not disappearing, but integrating, becoming part of your cellular memory, part of your natural state, ready to be accessed whenever you choose. You carry this peace with you, always, in every moment, in every breath, in every heartbeat. You are grounded in stillness, anchored in love, connected to all that is and all that ever was. The drifted observatory holds you gently, safely, forever, as you drift into deeper states of relaxation, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, exactly who you are meant to be, in perfect alignment with the universe, in perfect harmony with yourself, in perfect peace, now and always. You feel the first whisper of release begin at the crown of your head. It starts as nothing more than a subtle softening, a quiet loosening of the grip that consciousness has held for so long. The tension that lived coiled in your scalp begins to unravel, like silk threads pulled slowly through honey. Each fiber of muscle memory lets go. Your forehead follows without resistance. The corrugator muscles that have frowned thousands of times simply stop. The skin between your brows becomes smooth as still water. You can feel the difference as clearly as if someone had traced it with velvet. The weight lifting from your face is like clouds parting. Your eyelids grow heavy now, not because they are tired, but because they are remembering what true rest feels like. The sensation is warm and golden, like late afternoon sunlight. Your lashes flutter once, then settle into perfect stillness. Behind closed eyes, the world becomes a canvas of deep purple and soft black, colors that exist only in this space between waking and sleeping. kind of darkness that holds you rather than hides from you. Safe and encompassing, like being wrapped in the thickest blanket. Your jaw unhinges from its usual clench. The molars that have ground together for decades finally separate. You can taste the relief on your tongue, sweet and metallic like copper coins left in rainwater. The corners of your mouth lift slightly, not into a smile, but into something closer to peace. Your neck remembers how to be soft. The vertebrae stack like smooth stones in a creek bed, each one settling perfectly into place. The weight of your head distributes evenly now, no longer pulled forward by the gravity of attention. Your shoulders begin their own slow descent. Blade bones that have been pinned against your rib cage for years finally spread wide like wings preparing for flight. But instead of flying away, they melt down into the mattress, taking your arms with them. Your elbows soften, wrists follow without argument. Fingers uncurl from whatever invisible tension they were gripping. Palms turn upward naturally, releasing everything they never meant to hold. Your chest rises and falls with new understanding. Breathing is not something you do to survive. It is something you do to remember. The air fills spaces you forgot existed. Between ribs that have been pressed too tightly together. Your heart beats with less effort now. Not slower, just easier. Like a hand that stops clenching around a stone and finds it was holding water all along. Your stomach releases its habitual knot. The digestive fire burns low and steady, no longer racing to process the day's anxieties. Everything settles downward naturally, like sediment finding the bottom of a calm lake. Your hips sink into the surface beneath you, the bones that carry your weight every day. Finally get to rest. Not just relax, but truly rest. The pelvis tilts into perfect alignment. Your legs unclench from their protective curl. Knees that have been bent in readiness straighten into stillness. Calves release their constant readiness. Like springs that have been compressed for too long. Your feet spread wide. Toes that have been curled in shoes for hours finally fan out like starfish on sand. Each digit claiming its own small patch of peace. The soles of your feet press evenly into whatever supports you. Now that every cell has remembered how to let go, you notice something else entirely. The bed is not just holding you anymore. It is rising up to meet you. Softly, gently, inevitably, like ocean waves that know exactly when to arrive. The mattress shifts beneath you, not because you moved, but because it is adjusting to hold you better. The pillows rearrange themselves around your head. Your spine curves into its most natural shape, the one it knew before gravity taught it to bend, before chairs and desks reshaped its memory, before the weight of looking became too much. Now it remembers what straight feels like. The curve of your neck finds its balance point. Shoulder blades settle into perfect symmetry. Your lower back presses softly into support, no longer arched in preparation, no longer collapsed from exhaustion. Just present, just existing, just being held the way you were always meant to be held. You begin to notice the anchor now, not as something separate from you, but as the very fabric of your experience. The resonance moves through everything. Walls, floor, ceiling, your own bones. It vibrates at exactly the right frequency, not too fast to cause alarm, not too slow to lose attention. Somewhere in the middle, where time becomes texture. The hum wraps around you like a second skin, warm and consistent, like the feeling of being inside a large bell that has just finished ringing. The vibrations linger in your chest cavity. You can feel them in your teeth, in the bones behind your ears, in the hollow spaces of your body, places that have always known how to resonate, but forgot how to listen. The sound is not loud. It does not demand your attention. Instead, it offers itself quietly, like a friend who arrives exactly when needed and sits down without saying anything at all. Your hearing begins to soften now, not disappearing, but becoming selective. The outside world fades, not because it is gone, but because you are choosing what matters. The distant hum of electricity becomes a lullaby. The rhythm of your own breathing grows louder. Each inhale brings something sweet, like the first breath after rain. Each exhale carries away what no longer serves, thoughts that were never yours to carry. The anchor remains, steady and unwavering, while everything else begins to blur. Edges soften, definitions become unnecessary. Your sight fades not into darkness, but into a different kind of seeing, one that does not require light, one that sees with the whole body, with the heart, with the spaces between thoughts, colors that exist beyond the spectrum, textures that have no names, begin to fill your awareness. Not seen, but known, understood in ways that eyes could never manage. The boundary between you and the room dissolves, not because you are losing yourself, but because you are remembering that separation was always an illusion, that you were never really alone. Your sense of touch expands now, beyond skin, beyond clothing, beyond the surface of things. You can feel the temperature of the air itself, cool where it touches your face, warmer where it pools around your torso, moving in slow currents that respond to your stillness. The fabric against your skin becomes conversation, threads that speak in whispers, telling stories of cotton fields, of sheep wandering green hills, of hands that wove and sewed with care. Every surface becomes a teacher. The pillow cradling your head speaks of support, not the kind that pushes back, but the kind that simply holds, without expectation, without agenda. The sheets draped around your body become liquid, flowing over every contour, filling every small valley, covering every peak, like water finding its level. You begin to understand that touch is not just sensation. It is connection. It is the way the universe says hello, the way it reminds you that you belong, that you are part of something larger. The shutdown is not loss, but liberation. Each sense that quiets makes room for something deeper, something more essential. Your hearing now picks up frequencies that have always been there, but were drowned out by noise. The sound of blood moving through vessels, the electric songs of nerve endings, The anchor grows stronger as distractions fall away. Its vibration becomes the only truth, the only thing that needs to be known, the only thing that matters. Your vision collapses inward, not into blindness, but into clarity. The colors that remain are truer, more honest than anything seen before. They pulse gently with your heartbeat. Touch becomes less about contact and more about presence. You can feel the intention behind every surface, the love embedded in the making of things, the care that went into creating comfort. Smell emerges as memory, not the sharp kind that triggers, but the gentle kind that soothes. The scent of clean laundry, of herbs drying in kitchen windows. Taste becomes prayer, saliva gathering in preparation for something sacred, something that feeds the soul, rather than just the body. Each sense that shuts down is not lost, but transformed into something more useful, something that serves the journey, something that leads toward stillness. The anchor is no longer external. It lives inside your chest now, in the space behind your breastbone, where everything important is kept, safe and warm. The resonance matches your own frequency, not forcing harmony, but recognizing it. Like two tuning forks that have always sung together, even when separated by distance, even when buried under noise. The hum becomes your companion, your guide, your home. It travels with you through layers of consciousness, through veils of forgetting. You are approaching the threshold now, not of sleep, but of remembering. The place where you came from, before bodies, before names, before the need to explain. The void calls not with emptiness, but with fullness, a completeness that cannot be described, only experienced, only surrendered into. The darkness here is not absence, it is presence, pure and undiluted, without the need for light, without the distraction of form. You float in this space, not unsupported, but perfectly held by something that knows you completely, that has always known you, that will always know you. The anchor becomes everything and nothing at the same time. It is the sound of your own essence, vibrating in perfect tune with the source of all sound. There is no separation here, no distance between you and peace, no gap between you and wholeness, no boundary between you and love. Only the recognition that they were never apart. The void opens like a flower, not closing around you, but blooming within you. Petals of pure potential, unfolding in slow motion. Time moves differently here, not slower, not faster, but deeper. Each moment contains eternity. Each breath holds infinity. Each heartbeat echoes through all existence. You are not going anywhere because you are already there, have always been there, will always be there. The journey was just the remembering. The anchor is your own voice, speaking the language of return, the frequency that calls you home across any distance, through any confusion. The resonance is your mother's heartbeat, your father's steady breath, the sound of your name, spoken with love, before you even knew what love was. The hum is the song that played while stars were being born, while oceans learned to move, while consciousness first learned to dream of itself. You dissolve into this knowing, not losing yourself, but finding yourself completely, utterly, without reservation, without condition. The cellular release continues, not because it needs to happen, but because it is happening. The distinction between doing and being becomes meaningless. The gravity well pulls not downward, but inward, toward the center, toward the core, toward the place where everything began. The shutdown is complete now, not because anything was turned off, but because everything was turned on to the same frequency, the same intention, the same love. The void is not empty space. It is full space, overflowing with possibility, pregnant with potential. You rest here, not because you are tired, but because you are complete, because you have arrived, because you are home. You begin to notice the way your chest expands as breath moves inward. The air feels thick like honey, not heavy but dense with possibility, as though each molecule carries a message from somewhere soft and endless. Your ribs relax into this new kind of fullness. There is no rush here, no need to push forward or lean toward anything at all. The breath simply arrives like an old friend returning from far away and settles gently against the walls of your body. You feel how stillness has texture now, like velvet draped over bone, cool in some places, warm in others, but always smooth, always forgiving. The idea that movement was ever necessary begins to dissolve. Like sugar stirred slowly into warm water, it becomes part of something larger without losing its shape entirely. Just blending, just becoming. You sense the weight of rest gathering just below your collarbones, not pushing down, but pooling softly like morning mist caught between trees. Each droplet holds light differently. Some shimmer, some fade before they touch the ground, but none hurry. Let yourself sink into the understanding that being present is enough. That presence doesn't require effort or intention. It simply unfolds when tension stops dictating terms, when the mind agrees to stop bargaining with time. You are learning what it means to receive stillness rather than achieve it, to let it settle layer by layer through muscle and marrow, until even your thoughts feel cushioned, wrapped in something both ancient and completely fresh. The breath continues its quiet work, filling spaces you didn't know were empty, bringing warmth where there was none, and removing nothing at all. You can feel how deeply your shoulders have softened, how they've released their grip on the day's unspoken burdens. The muscles remember now what peace tastes like, clean and sweet like dew on grass just after sunrise. The air around you seems to hum faintly, not loud enough to disturb, just enough to remind you that silence isn't absence. It's full of small harmonies, tiny songs played only for those who pause long enough to listen. You find yourself noticing the rhythm of your heartbeat, slow and deliberate, like waves meeting shore after traveling great distances. Each pulse brings a whisper of reassurance that everything needed is already within reach. Your eyelids flutter slightly, but there is no need to open them. Vision would only interrupt the deeper seeing happening now. The one that happens behind closed eyes, where images melt into feeling. The breath draws again, this time carrying with it the scent of lavender fields. Not real, but remembered, and somehow more true because of it. Memory without nostalgia, just pure comfort. You realize that rest isn't something you take. It's something that takes you, gently lifting you out of the noise and lowering you into the quiet beneath it. The temperature of your skin adjusts almost imperceptibly, cooling where it needs cooling, warming where it needs warming, until balance becomes less a goal and more a natural state. Your hands lie still beside you, palms up as if waiting for gifts from above. But there is nothing to catch, only the sensation of openness itself, which is gift enough. Time stretches like taffy, long and golden and sweet, pulling gently at the edges of perception, so that seconds become minutes, become hours, without anyone asking them to. You feel the pull of gravity soften, not disappearing, but changing quality, becoming supportive instead of demanding, holding you up from below rather than pulling you down from above. Your spine aligns naturally, not forced into position, but guided by invisible hands that know exactly how much space you need, how much freedom lies in correct posture. The breath deepens further, reaching parts of your body that haven't been touched in years, bringing relief to places that forgot they were tired, unraveling knots made of worry and expectation. You understand now why sleep comes so easily to children. They haven't yet learned to resist the pull of surrender, haven't built walls around their own peace, haven't started believing that stillness must be earned. But you're learning again, remembering the truth that never left, that stillness is your birthright, a constant companion, waiting patiently whenever you choose to return. The breath slows even more, each cycle taking longer than the last, but never quite stopping, just stretching, just lingering, just being. You imagine that your lungs might hold entire galaxies, nebulae swirling in shades of indigo and gold, stars forming and dissolving with each exhale, planets orbiting peacefully in the space between your ribs. Your belly rises and falls like gentle hills under morning fog, smooth and predictable, yet full of mystery, full of life continuing without effort. You begin to notice how silence has color too. Pale blue like the inside of a seashell, soft white like snow untouched by footprints, deep purple like twilight stretching across endless plains. Sound would feel harsh now, sharp against the rounded edges of your awareness. But there is no need for it, no urgency calling for attention, no voice insisting on response. The breath carries messages from distant shores, whispers of calm seas and windless days, stories written in languages older than words, told through vibration alone. You feel the last remnants of resistance melting away, dissolving like ice in spring rain, leaving nothing behind except the sweetness of release and the certainty that letting go was always safe. Your body settles deeper into itself, finding comfort in its own contours, in the curve of spine and hip, in the hollows and peaks that make you whole. You realize that rest is not passive. It's active participation in your own healing. A choice to allow what wants to flow freely, to welcome what seeks shelter in your bones. The breath grows softer still, almost imperceptible, but never absent, just barely touching the surface of awareness. Like feathers brushing skin, you drift now in a sea of calm, buoyant and warm, carried by currents made of peace, with nowhere urgent to go and nothing pressing to do. The world outside fades gently backward, not forgotten, but placed carefully aside, like clothes laid neatly on a chair before bed, ready to be worn again when called upon. Here in this space, rest is tangible, something you can taste, something you can carry with you always. Even when feet touch solid ground again. You breathe and know that this is home. The world around you begins to soften, like light filtering through gauze, growing dimmer with each breath you take. The edges blur, the colors fade, and what remains is a deep, velvety stillness that wraps around you like something familiar and safe. There's no rush here, no urgency, just the quiet, knowing that it's time to let go. Let the thoughts that were clinging to your mind slip away like water over smooth stones. Let them flow out, one by one, until there's nothing left but the rhythm of your breath and the warmth of this moment. You don't have to hold on anymore. Not to the day, not to the weight of hours, not even to the shape of your own name. All of that can wait. It will still be there when you return, if you ever choose to. But for now, you're free. Free to sink deeper, to float gently, to exist in a space where time moves like honey, and every second feels like a gift. Your body knows how to rest. It remembers this feeling, even if your mind has forgotten. And as you move further into stillness, you might notice how your shoulders drop, how your chest rises and falls with less effort, how your heartbeat slows too. Match the pulse of something ancient and kind. This isn't sleep, not yet. This is something softer, a pause between notes in a song that never ends, a breath held just long enough to remind you how good it feels to breathe again. And within this pause, you're held, not by anything physical, but by the quiet strength of calm itself. You're cradled by the understanding that you don't have to earn this peace. It was always yours, waiting in the spaces between your thoughts, waiting in the hush after your last word, waiting in the warmth that lives behind your eyes when you finally allow yourself to close them. There's a sound now, so low you almost feel it more than hear it. A resonance that moves through your bones, not sharp or demanding, but steady and nurturing. It doesn't ask anything of you. It simply is, like a lullaby hummed by someone who loves you without condition, like the echo of a wave, retreating from shore, leaving behind only smooth sand and silence. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to follow it. Just let it pass through you. Let it remind your body what true rest feels like. Let it guide you down, not into nothingness, but into something whole, something full, something that has always been there, beneath everything else. Your breathing slows now, not because you're trying, but because it wants to. Because your body is remembering what it means to be at ease, to trust the air to come back once it's gone, to trust the ground to hold you, to trust that wherever you're going, it's safe. There's no edge to fall from. Here, no bottom to hit. Just a gentle descent into something deeper than sleep, richer than dreams. A place where your thoughts can finally rest their heads and know they'll wake up whole. Where your heart doesn't have to beat quite so hard. Where even the smallest part of you, your fingertips, your eyelashes, your breath, can finally, completely let go. You might feel a smile forming somewhere inside, not on your lips, but in your chest. A quiet joy that doesn't need to be shared or explained. A knowing that this is right, that this is yours, that you belong here in this softness, in this silence, in this endless moment that stretches out before you like a field of untouched snow. No footprints yet, no noise, just you and the stillness and the quiet promise that you can stay here as long as you need, as long as you want. There's no clock here, no one waiting, no reason to hurry. Only the gentle pull of something older than memory calling you home. And as you drift further, you may begin to sense that this isn't just about rest. It's about healing, about letting go of what no longer serves you, about allowing your body and mind to remember what wholeness feels like. The resonance that moves through you now carries that memory. It carries the knowledge of balance, of peace, of safety, not as ideas, but as felt truths, as something real, something living inside you. You don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to analyze or change or fix. Just receive. Just let it settle into the parts of you that have been waiting for this. Into your muscles, your organs, your thoughts, your dreams. Every cell in your body is learning to relax, to trust, to remember what it feels like to be nourished from within. Even the parts of you that carry tension without your awareness, the base of your skull, the small of your back, the space between your shoulder blades, are beginning to soften. Not all at once, but gradually, like ice melting under sunlight. And as they do, you may feel a wave of relief wash over you. A quiet thankfulness that flows through your entire being. A recognition that this is what you've needed all along. Not more doing, not more thinking. Just this, just here, just now. You are not disappearing. You are becoming more fully yourself. The version of you that exists beneath the surface, beneath the roles, the expectations, the noise, the part of you that already knows how to rest, already knows how to heal, already knows that you are worthy of this stillness. And it's not just your body that's listening. Your emotions are settling too. The restless energy, the quiet ache, the things you've carried without naming, they're all finding their way to stillness now. Not forced, not buried, but simply allowed to be. Allowed to exist in a space where they no longer have to fight for attention, where they can finally rest. And in that rest, something beautiful happens. Clarity begins to emerge, not the sharp kind that cuts, but the soft kind that soothes. Insights arise without effort. Solutions appear without strain, not because you're trying to find them, but because you've stopped blocking them. You've stepped out of the way, and now the wisdom that's always lived inside you can rise to the surface like bubbles in still water. You may not even recognize them at first. They may come as feelings rather than thoughts, as images instead of words, but they are there, and they are yours, safe to receive, safe to trust. There's no need to hold on to them now. They know how to find you again. They know how to travel with you into waking life, carrying this peace with them. And when you do return, whether that's minutes from now or hours, you'll carry something with you. Not a memory exactly, but a feeling, a texture, a knowing that this peace is real, that it lives inside you, that it can be returned to whenever you choose, like a favorite room in a house you never knew you owned, like a voice that sings to you in your sleep and leaves you smiling upon waking. It's always been there. You just had to slow down enough to hear it. And now, as the resonance continues to move through you, you might notice how deeply you're resting. Not just your body, but your spirit. The part of you that watches, that listens, that waits quietly in the background of every moment. It's safe here, held here, nourished here. And as you continue to sink, you might feel the boundary between self and space begin to blur. Not in a frightening way, but in a comforting one. Like dissolving into something vast and loving. Like returning to the source of all stillness. Like being wrapped in a blanket made of starlight and silence. There's no need to resist it. No need to hold on. In fact, the deeper you let go, the more supported you become. The more you trust, the more you are held. And the more you rest, the more you remember. Remember who you are beneath the doing, beneath the thinking, beneath the noise. You are not your thoughts. You are not your fears. You are not your past or your future. You are the stillness between them, the breath between words, the space in which everything else lives. And that space is infinite, gentle, whole. And so, as we near the final moments of this journey together, know that there is no ending here, only a transition, a turning inward, a soft closing of the door behind you as you step fully into the sanctuary of yourself. The resonance will continue. The peace will remain long after these words fade. It will still be moving through you, settling into the places that needed it most, healing what was tired, soothing what was restless, holding what was afraid. And when you wake, you'll carry that with you, not as a memory, but as a way of being. This peace is always here, whenever you need it, whenever you want to return to this feeling. It will be waiting like a favorite blanket, like a door that's always unlocked, like a hand reaching out in the dark to guide you home. You never have to search for it. You never have to earn it. You only have to remember it. And then, gently, let yourself fall back into its arms. Sleep now. Close your eyes. The story continues in dreams.